And I need to click off that. Wow. Okay, I'm still getting used to that video intro. Hello, everyone. We are live. We're back with another trailer reaction video. I mean, we haven't really been getting many trailers for obvious reasons due to mass global pandemic, and no movies are coming out. However, there is one duo that is coming out that is still scheduled for, I believe it's not October, August the 1st, I think it's down for. July or August, either one. There's a new Bill and Ted movie on the horizon. Bill and Ted Face the Music. This is the third Bill and Ted movie. Many years have passed since the previous one came out. If I just have a look now, I believe it was 91. Yeah, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was 1991. So it's been some time.
Yeah,
You have actually you've actually already seen this trailer. I haven't, so this will be my first time reaction, but you have already seen it. But I wanted to draft you on because I know that you've seen the previous two entries, and you know we always talk a little bit about them and everything like that. So, what are your thoughts on the Bill and Ted? I guess we can call it franchise now, or trilogy. Certainly the first two films, anyway.
Bill and Ted. Well, the first one, not the second one. I won't say that yet. But the first one is one of my favorite movies. Like it's been like up there for like so long. It's just I think I first watched it when I was like 10 or something like that, like in a history class at school. And like right at the beginning, they're just like, "Oh, we need to get Eddie Van Halen for our band." I was like, "This is my kind of movie," straight away. And it was just amazing. It was just the soundtrack, and like it was just like my kind of humor. It was just funny. Like, well, of course it's funny, but what I mean, it was just funny in a like stupid sense, not in a sense of like oh, this is like some groundbreaking, amazing movie. You know what I mean? It's one of those that you go in knowing like, okay, like it's not some groundbreaking movie. It's just like this is just stupid, and that's what makes it great. You know what I mean? Second one, not so much. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of the second one. It was the same thing again, kind of, but it just what. No, I didn't like the second one. I
Yeah.
can't even
No.
sugarcoat it too much.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you there as well. So I actually watched they were two movies that I'd never seen. This was going back years, and I have only seen each of them once, I will say that. So my memory is a little hazy on them. But I remember really, really liking the first one. I thought it was a really nice, simple premise. They've got to do, is it like a history report in class, and they travel back in time in their time traveling telephone box. Remember those when they were a thing? And they draft in all of these like historical guys, you know, like famous historical figures to help them with their report. It's a nice, simple premise. It's really endearing. And yeah, the second one, Bogus Journey, I watched it. I may have actually done a double feature. I think I watched the first one straight into the second one because they're not that long. And I remember
Yeah,
not liking Bogus Journey. I didn't hate it by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was kind of forgettable. The only thing that I
yeah.
really liked in the second one was William Sadler as the Grim Reaper. I thought he was the best character in it, and I really liked his character. And I've heard
Yeah,
actually that he's come back for this third one as well, which is really cool.
yeah. I mean, the second one was just kind of yeah, forgettable. Really, like that is the best word to put it as. Really, I'm like not saying it's a bad movie. It's just the first one is
Yeah.
just something special. It's just one of those movies. It's like having an artist do like a one-hit wonder. You go, that's amazing, and the rest is like,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
totally. And I mean, this kind of you could kind of see this trend because I will say that I do very much prefer the Bill and Ted movies to say Wayne's World. Bill and Ted came out, the first one came out in '89, and the sequel came out in '91, and then to me, Wayne's World was very much in that same kind of realm, a little bit copycat, certainly with like the personas of the two lead characters. Wayne's World then came out in '92, '93. And it's kind of Bill and Ted for me is like it's almost like Dumb and Dumber in that you've got these two really endearing, not very intelligent guys, but you still really like them and you buy into the friendship of it. And you've got the same cast returning. Obviously, it's amazing that they've got Keanu Reeves back. Obviously, he's had like massive success, and I'm not going to say that Alex Winter hasn't, but what I'm saying is that Keanu
but yeah,
Reeves is very much a household name, and Alex Winter probably isn't. So it's really cool that Keanu Reeves has come back to do this thing. He's a humble guy anyway, and I'm sure he remembers his roots and sort of
yeah.
what
He
started his
knows
career.
it's always one of those that's talked about. It's like kind of it's his sort of Fresh Prince of Bel Air in a way. It's the thing that he's
Mhm.
always remembered for. I mean, like he has gone on to do loads of stuff, but then again, Will Smith has as well. Like it's that sort of thing. It'll always keep coming back, and I think them doing a third one was always sort of inevitable in the part, like over the past 20 years or something.
Mhm.
It's always been something that it's been there, that maybe we're going to do one at some point, and like we've said before, a trilogy, the third one is always a lot of years later and that sort of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, and apparently they had the script down for this thing. I don't know if the script was finished, written in the can from around 2010, and it looks like the idea hasn't changed, which is really good. They've kept exactly the same plot as it was written. It's the same two writers, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, who wrote the first two, bringing them back to do the third one, and the plot hasn't changed from that original script. As far as I know, maybe some things were tweaked over the years. It was just a case that they couldn't get financial, funding for it. They couldn't find. They struggled to find a studio. Eventually, it's been settled on that Warner Brothers are marketing it for the UK, and MGM, who are owned by Warner Brothers now, I think, have like pushed it through Orion Pictures through their distribution. So they finally got it. Before going into the trailer, and we will get into it now because we're almost coming up to, well, we're over 6 minutes for the intro. Especially with comedy sequels, they're very difficult to do, especially comedy sequel, just in general comedy sequels, but comedies that are made X amount of years after the fact, like whether it's 20, even 30 years in some respects. I'm reminded of Dumb and Dumber, for example, when Dumb and Dumber 2 came out. It was the same directors, the same writers, the Farrelly brothers. Dumb and Dumber is my favorite comedy film of all time. Dumb and Dumber 2 wasn't that great. It wasn't good, but it was nice to see, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels back. And that's what I think that this movie is going to be. This movie isn't going to be winning any Oscars. It's probably not going to be inherently good. I mean, I hope it is. I could be wrong. This is my preconceptions going in.
Yeah, that's
but
what
I think it'll just be nice seeing those two together in a movie like this again.
I mean, Dumb and Dumber is also another one of those that you kind of go in, like when Dumb and Dumber 2 came out, I was really excited because I loved the first one. I was like, oh, this is going to be great, but also just, it's going to be great just because of the whole, like, oh, look at that again. Like, rather than, oh my God, this is amazing. You know what I mean? So, and that's what this needs to be. And as long as the people that made it, like, as long as they know that's what it is, and they're not going for, this is going to be, right, it's going to be a decent movie, we're going to win an Oscar. If they go for that approach, it's going to be terrible. If they go for the approach of, it's not going to be good, it's just going to be like, oh, look what they did, that's funny, and oh, like you know what I mean, cool soundtrack, and oh, that's nostalgia, you know what I mean? And it's funny because they know it's bad. That sort of thing. If they go for that, it's going to be great. If they try and be great, it's not going to be, if that makes any sense.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. So I think without further ado, we'll get to the trailer now. I'm going to take out my earphones. So again, the audio is going to be picked up through my mic. Hopefully that's sufficient. There's not really much else I can do, I'm afraid. So with a quick few alterations here, boom, there we go. So I'm going to full screen this on mine. Dale, you'll be watching it off the screen, but you have already seen the trailer at least. That, before I even begin, that is so nostalgic to me, just seeing Orion like that. And really old school logo. I like that. Right. So, okay, I'll count down from 3, 2. Well, I'll just click play. You're not following along. So, okay, I'm going to hit play now.
25 years ago, you played a concert in front of the entire world.
Wyld Stallyns.
You played in Barstow, California for 40 people. Most of them were there for $2 taco night.
Oh, they've like dropped off then.
What have you got to say for yourselves? Be excellent.
Oh, they do look very old.
Party on, dudes.
They do look exactly the same.
You were supposed to unite the world and save reality as we
weren't they like all beardy and like muscly and stuff at the end of one of the movies? Was that the second movie?
I can't remember that.
The future when we have rid it. Whoa, take it from ourselves. But isn't that stealing? How is that stealing if we're stealing it from ourselves, dude?
It's cool that they've got Death back. That's cool. Why is that the Rock of Ages font?
Might have been.
No way. How'd you like our song? It's a little on the dark side, but you know, that's cool.
Wait, is that it? Was that it? Is that the trailer?
Very, very short trailer.
Was that the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh damn! Okay, I thought. Okay, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more.
The thing is, though, it was everything that you thought it would be.
Yeah.
The movie.
I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. Like, it's probably like a really small scale movie. I don't know if it's like my 2020 sensibilities. I'm just expecting something a bit more. There's probably a lot more that we haven't seen. I don't know if it's sort of got if it did an effective job as a trailer of saying this is what the plot is, this is what we're going to achieve. I actually read the plot synopsis before watching this trailer, and having seen that trailer, I would not have got that from the trailer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, what we got from the trailer was literally just what you'd expect of just they're two people, they play music, and for some weird reason it saves the world. That is literally it. And
yeah, so,
it's, you know, like rock music, and that is literally the plot of it. And there is no plot.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's what you got from the trailer, and that's what I think is perfect. Like, you don't need any more. If they had tried so hard, like, oh my god, there's this and there's that. Oh, and their daughter is like, you know, technically you're not actually her dad, she's your, and it's like, what? Then you'd just be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And again, that is kind of a Dumb and Dumber 2 thing as well, where they brought in like, is she your daughter? Is she not your daughter? So that's like a, you know, like a plot, like a trope, I guess, for like these sequels that are done like so many years after. I'm glad that they're still the main characters, because if they'd have like soft rebooted this thing, it's not going to work. This completely rides on Bill and Ted as characters. This movie is just purely made out of, you know, love, nostalgia for people that that grew up with them. I don't think this is really going to draft any new... Of course it will. The people will be watching this film that haven't seen the originals, maybe. But I think fundamentally it is made for people that like the characters, like any of the previous two. Maybe it'll bring in some new people just out of Keanu Reeves alone. He has kind of had a resurgence over the last few years. He did The Matrix, and it kind of slumped, and then obviously it picked up when he's done the likes of John Wick, for example. It's very weird to see him go back to movies like this, but I'm kind of cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if it tries too hard to bring in a new audience, that's where it'll fail.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it can. It's not one of those movies that can. And I mean, if I was talking to like the directors and stuff, they would probably say, "Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it can." You know what I mean? They're always going to say it can bring in new people, but you know what I mean? It's not something that should aim to bring in new people. It's literally something just for the people that have seen the others and the people that love them, and that is it.
Yeah. I mean, I've read the plot, and the plot sounds fun. Apparently, someone from the future shows. I don't know if you want to know this or if you just want to go into it cold. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I did know part of it. I can't remember it, but I did kind of know. So yeah, go over it. I can't remember exactly what it is.
They're warned by a visitor from the future that they need to create a song in 78 minutes that will save all life on Earth and the entire universe. And they have to write a song. And I'm like, 78 minutes, the runtime's probably going to be like 80, 90 minutes, I would expect. So that kind of sounds about right. You know, 15, 20 minutes setting up your plot at the beginning, and then 78 minutes in real time, we've got to make this song. And I think they have to, what is it? The pair work with their families, old friends, famous musicians, and each other to complete the task. That is the story.
Famous musicians. I do wonder what kind of famous musicians you're. I can't say.
I did scroll through. So this was back in 2011. It's got the plot was suspected to be about Bill and Ted writing a song that could save the world. As I said, like they've kept the original idea. There was rumors that they would time travel to the prehistoric era, and the film would likely see a cameo by Eddie Van Halen, as well as the return of Socrates and Billy the Kid from the first movie.
That is a thing. I'll be so happy. I'll be the happiest.
So I read that and I was like, "Oh, this is Dale's movie. This is."
And the really cool thing about that as well, if it did happen, was that is literally like the first thing that's said in the first movie. You know, so that they're waiting to get Eddie Van Halen for their band, and if that does happen, it'll be like, oh, it took them a long time, but it happened. It would actually be a really, really cool thing to do.
I don't know. In terms of the trailer, it didn't wow me. Like, how would this have wowed me if they'd have played "Eruption" by Van Halen over the trailer? If it needed a bit more oomph, I think. I don't know. This felt like a teaser trailer, and I'm trying to remember. Did they already bring a teaser out for it, or was that just an announcement video of?
I didn't see any actual official teasers. I think that was literally just a teaser.
Yeah, because it's listed as official trailer 1. Usually, you get you get the teaser trailer, then you get official trailer 1, which goes more in depth. It's a little bit longer as a trailer and gives you more about the plot and everything like that. Granted, the plot's very sort of baseline, but I just felt like I needed more. I think I went into this trailer with a different notion as to what the trailer was going to be. If it had been listed as teaser trailer, fine. I saw official trailer. I wanted a little bit more. I'm still going to go and see this movie. If cinemas are open, that would be nice. But we'll have to wait.
The thing is, the fact that this trailer was so bare and so like there wasn't a lot to it makes me really hopeful for the movie. Because the fact, because if it is official trailer 1, and you know, like usually you get from them, and there's like more this, there's more that, and it goes in depth and blah blah blah. You know, the fact that they didn't do that shows that they probably won't do that for the movie, and they're just going to be some basic sort of like that. This was a fun moment. You know, that was a fun 90 minutes of your life, and that is what it's supposed to be.
It's with stuff like this. Like I'm a very nostalgic person. Like I love seeing stuff come back and everything like that to a point. Like, you know, with Disney at the moment, we talk about I don't want to like take this off on like a Disney tangent, but you know, like the live action adaptations, I hate them, but they are literally there for nostalgia. I like stuff like this where I like seeing characters from films come back to do a sequel or whatever, but they very rarely stick the landing. And most of the time, especially with Dumb and Dumber 2, there's part of you that's like, I'm excited to see these two characters back again doing and working together and doing this. But there's also like an underlying that, oh, this is really sad to see them this aged up doing this shtick still. And I don't want to have that with this, you know?
And the thing about Dumb and Dumber, and the thing about Bill and Ted as well, is that sense of like, oh, it's just a bit sad to see that, is the thing that makes it brilliant, because it's sad seeing the characters in Dumb and Dumber. They're supposed to be characters that you think, those two are just sad. Like, why are they still doing that sort of thing? Not Jim Carrey, but what I mean is the actual two, you know, that are being played in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's looking at them and just going, they are just sad. And same with Bill and Ted, and just like, they're acting like they're 14 still. They are just sad people. And, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be that sort of thing. So I think that'll really, really work. But don't they have kids in it, don't they, now?
Yeah, so they don't mention the why. I'm assuming they've like broken up or something, or their marriage has fallen apart. I did read that somewhere in one of the earlier drafts of the script, is that they're two middle-aged men, their marriages have fallen apart, their kids are sort of like really angsty and everything like that, and then they're also given the task, their music careers are basically over, and they're also really given the task of saving the world.
That's really cool, because that's really relatable as well.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, marriages have fallen apart.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I think we all need just a movie like this, just sort of like a dumb, switch your brain off, have fun. Remember Fun, guys? Remember when that was a thing? That was nice. I remember those times when fun was a thing. So I'm excited for it. It'll be nice to see. I'm not getting my hopes up too much. And the thing is, like, there's no love lost. Like, I enjoy the first one as an entertaining movie. Didn't really care for the second one so much. So it's not like I hold these characters near and dear to my heart. And if this movie's bad, I'm going to be like flipping desks, like they ruined my childhood and everything like that. No, this isn't going to be like an Indiana Jones 4 kind of situation where that happens.
They couldn't ruin the franchise with it. They could literally just, if they did a bad movie and it wasn't good, it'd be like, okay, cool, the first one's still great, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? They wouldn't be able to ruin the franchise.
And even if it is bad, like, I think I'll still have that where I'm like, oh, but it's great to see Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter working together again. And, you know, and the guy coming back who played Death, who's like 70 years old now or something, which is mad.
Rufus, he's back as well.
Is he back?
Even though he's dead, it's just, from what I saw, he's like archive footage, like he's gonna be there. So they've got him in it, which is cool. I don't know what they're using, if they're trying to use do a kind of Princess Leia and sort of use some deleted scenes and just throw it in. I don't know. I don't know if that would work now, considering it's, you know, so many years later. It's just, you know, but I don't know if it is just flashbacks or something. But the cool thing is they're including the character. They haven't just gone, okay, we can't. You know what I mean? They're actually including him. It's not like they've got a new actor. They haven't done this. They're just going, okay, look, this is the guy. which is.
Oh, I did read specifically that they didn't want to recast Rufus. They wanted to like keep that. So maybe it is archive footage, or God forbid it's not what they did to Tarkin in Rogue One. And you have like this weird CGI sprite. All the budget of Bill and Ted 3 has gone to recreating Rufus in like a horrible Uncanny Valley CGI effect. But
yeah, no, I mean and it's got that chick from 2.5 Men in it.
Oh, has it? Okay.
The one that was talking in it, because I remember it's Charlie Allen's mom, and I was because as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is going to bug me now," because I recognise her voice, and it really, really annoyed me. And I don't know when I found it. It was just one of those like I googled like who was in the movie, and she wasn't actually credited at the beginning. I was like, oh, crap, I don't know who she is, and it just came into my head, and I was like, it's that girl.
I'm going to find it. Hang on.
She's really, really cool. And then Holland, Holland
Taylor.
That's it.
Let me just double check this. Yeah. She was. I remember her from George of the Jungle as Ursula's mom. That's where I'll always remember her from. She was probably in something else I've seen. Yeah, but it's cool that they've the Truman Show as well. She was in that. She's in a bunch of Spy Kids. She was in Spy Kids. Of course she was. That's where I know her from.
I remember. I do remember it, but
you of course you remember. If you're around my age group, you know Spy Kids. It was amazing.
I know. I'm just like, yeah.
It was amazing until it wasn't.
Lava Girl.
Yeah. I never watched that.
That was a thing. I remember. I was so excited when it came out. It was terrible.
I remember Spy Kids 3D was like the first 3D movie I ever went to see, and it like blew my mind at the time. I thought this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then you realize
they tell you put on your glasses, take off your glasses, like it flash on the screen. You're like,
so this has just become a Spy Kids 3D review. But I remember going there and being really excited. You got given your little red and blue old school 3D glasses. You put them on. It's in 3D for like literally the first 30 seconds, and then the guy comes on screen and says, "But for right now, take off your glasses. You won't need them for like 20 minutes." I was like, "What?" But I paid to see Spy Kids 3D, you slut.
Who was in that movie? I can't remember.
Who was in it? Who wasn't in that movie? It was everyone. It was the whole cast.
Like
Stallone played the villain, the toy maker.
No, it was Sharkboy and Lava Girl. That was a thing, even though it was terrible. That was Taylor Lautner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was.
Oh, that's just mad.
Oh, anyway, right. That will do it for our reaction video. We should do like a watch along or something of Spy Kids. We should review Spy Kids because those films were great. But
I think the thing about this movie is literally it's just the nostalgia thing, because the amount of times we've gone on about like Spy Kids or this or that, and it's just nostalgia. Like that's what this movie is, and it's just going to make people remember about movies they saw as a kid or movies that came out in the 80s, anything like that. It's literally just going to be that. And the cool thing about it is it's literally just it's kind of sounds really like a cheesy thing, but like it's kind of like a travel back in time to that. But then also that's what they do in the movie, which is quite cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean. See what you did there.
Yeah. That's basically the idea of it, which is really, really cool, and that's what we kind of need at the moment to remember simpler times.
And I know that 89, it's still technically an 80s movie. The second one came out in 91, so it's kind of on the cusp. But we're seeing a lot of things now in the pop culture, sort of going back with this 80s nostalgia kind of thing. Stranger Things, for example, is probably the most popular one. You've got the new Ghostbusters film coming out next year, which again is sort of, bringing back that 80s nostalgia. You've got this, and they're doing it with a lot of things now. You're seeing it even in music in some respects. You're getting sort of like those more 80s sounding music. It's the nostalgic generation. So, hey, if the 80s is coming back, even if it's got like a digital sheen slapped over it, and it's completely just, it's not an authentic 80s experience. It's like a glitzed and glamour and came out of a machine production line 80s. As long as it's that, I'm fine with it. So I guess that'll do for our yeah. But I pretty much said everything I could on this trailer. I don't know if you've got anything else you want to say about it.
No, I don't think there is. I think it is literally going to be a very basic thing, and that's what the review is. Like, there's not a lot to say about it, and there shouldn't be, really.
Yeah.
If there was a lot to say about it, it would go bad.
Yeah, don't make it more than what it is. You know, it seems like it's remembering its roots. It seems like it's not trying to be anything it isn't, and I think that's important to sort of restrain it back a little bit. But yeah, so that'll do it for our reaction to the first official trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music. I'm going to bring up socials now. Scrolling very nicely along the bottom. We're all very visual now. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So as obviously, unless you can't read, that's Facebook at Cinema Savvy, Twitter at Cinema_Savvy, and Instagram is also at Cinema_Savvy. We will be back tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. for our horror quiz. We're getting back into the quizzes. We took a break last week for obvious reasons with everything going on in the world. But we are back with a horror quiz tomorrow. It's going to be very fun. All the questions are locked in. And it's going to be a lot of fun getting back into those. So spread the word. Follow us on all there for times and everything else we've got coming out. We've got watch-alongs coming out, reviews, discussions, all manner of stuff. Thank you very much, Dale, for jumping on today. I know it was kind of a losing my voice. It was a last-minute thing, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to talk some Bill and Ted with me for like half hour?" And you were like,
"Yeah,
sure."
I was half asleep, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that thing."
You're like, "Oh, that was a thing that I watched yesterday." Unfortunately, we should have done a review yesterday, a reaction yesterday even, and it was a very cool day that they brought it out on that day because it was the 6th of the 9th in American dates, and 69 dudes, and unfortunately we missed out on that. So
I literally watched that clip yesterday as well. I was like, "Oh, that was the thing. Let's watch it."
But I'm fashionably late as usual, and I'm doing it on the 10th because I don't like to be a traditionalist. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Did anyone watch? I don't know. People will probably watch this in hindsight. Let us know what you thought of the trailer. Are you looking forward to more Bill and Ted? What did you think to the previous two? Anything you like, please do comment. Also, very quickly before I round off, you mentioned the whole Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air comparison earlier. Mm-hmm. Will Smith was originally cast and asked to play Neo in The Matrix and turned it down to be in Wild Wild West. Yeah, and they got Keanu Reeves in.
Will Smith is notorious for turning down movies that are great and being in movies that flop.
I'm so glad that that's how it happened, though. We got Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. I can't imagine anyone else in that role. And Wild Wild West is one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies, and Will Smith's fantastic in it. So it all works out at the end.
So it's genius.
Anyway, tangent. Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe. All that good stuff. Be good to each other. Stay excellent. Excellent. And air guitar. There we go. See ya.